The Young and the Restless spoilers Thursday, July 30th. Abby leans on Daniel. Lily pulls back and Matt defies Victor. Matt defies Victor. Lily slows things down with Kane, and Abby turns to an old flame as her marriage faces fresh trouble. This article contains spoilers for the upcoming episode of The Young and the Restless, airing Wednesday, July 29th in Canada and Thursday, July 30th in the United States. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 30th, imply that Abby Winters, Melissa Ordway, leans on Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziade, while Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, hits the brakes on her reunion with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Plus, Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, takes a huge risk. Find out more about Thursday's show below. Key takeaways. Matt takes a huge gamble against Victor. Lily sets firm boundaries with Kane. Abby confides in Daniel about her marriage. Victor's warning could come back to haunt Matt. Devon's distance pushes Abby toward temptation. Matt Clark's major risk. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 30th suggest that Matt will take a major risk when he allows Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, to cut his ankle monitor off. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, has warned Matt that if he doesn't follow through with his end of their deal, then he'll be sent to prison or worse. By taking off his ankle monitor, Victor won't be able to detect where Matt is, and it's sure to piss the mustache off. Regardless, Matt and Phyllis will toast to their future. So do either of them realize the line they are about to cross where Victor is concerned? Lily Winters pumps the brakes. Across town, Lily and Kane will be basking in the afterglow of their sizzling session from the Wednesday, July 29th show. Still, added teasers for July 30th hint that Lily will drop another bombshell. It looks like she'll set boundaries with her ex-husband, so he's not exactly out of the woodwork yet. How will Kane react to Lily's news? Does she want to be exclusive, or was she looking for a little fun? Maybe she still wants to take things slow, despite doing the deed. Abby Newman plays with fire. Lastly, The Young and the Restless spoilers for July 30th note that Abby will confide in Daniel about her marriage problems with Devon Hamilton Winters, Brighton James. Devon is dealing with a ton of anger and resentment where Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, is concerned and her kidnapping Dominic Winters' chancellor, Ethan Ray Clark. Still, rather than leaning on Abby, he's building a wall which has Abby worried. The last time Abby experienced this was when she was married to Chance Chancellor Connor Floyd, and she ended up cheating on him with Devon, and the rest is history. Will lightning strike twice with Abby? After all, Daniel isn't only a friend, he happens to be an ex-boyfriend of hers too. The halls of Newman Enterprises had rarely been quiet, but today the silence felt different. It was the kind of silence that came before another storm, a storm fueled by betrayal, ambition, and old wounds that refused to heal. Abby Newman walked through the executive floor with a determined expression, but the confidence she usually carried had faded. The weight of recent events had become almost unbearable. Between family conflicts, business pressures, and the constant expectations placed upon her as a Newman, Abby felt as though she were carrying the world on her shoulders. For once, she didn't head toward Victor's office. Instead, she found herself standing outside Daniel Romalotti's workspace. Daniel looked up from his laptop and immediately noticed the exhaustion in Abby's eyes. "You look like you've been fighting battles all week," he said gently. Abby managed a weak smile. "Maybe all year." Daniel motioned toward the chair across from him. "Sit." She hesitated only a moment before doing exactly that. "I don't usually unload my problems on people." "You don't have to carry everything alone." The simple statement struck Abby harder than she expected. For several minutes, she talked openly about the impossible balancing act of loyalty to family versus loyalty to herself. Victor's expectations never seemed to end, and every decision she made felt like it was being judged. Daniel listened without interrupting. When Abby finally stopped speaking, she laughed quietly. "I can't believe I just told you all of that. I'm glad you did." Unlike many people in Genoa City, Daniel wasn't trying to manipulate her or gain an advantage. He simply listened. It reminded Abby that genuine friendship still existed in a town where trust was often in short supply. Across town, Lily Winters stood alone in the offices of Winters. She stared through the glass windows overlooking the city skyline. There had been a time when she believed relationships could survive honesty. Now, she wasn't so sure. Phone calls continued to arrive. Messages remained unread. Everyone wanted something from Lily. Advice, forgiveness, another chance. She wasn't ready to give any of it. When Devon walked into her office, he immediately sensed something had changed. "You've been avoiding everyone." "I've been protecting myself." Devon frowned. "From who?" "Maybe everyone." The answer surprised even Lily. She had spent so much time trying to fix everyone else's problems that she'd forgotten what peace felt like. "I'm tired of pretending everything is okay," she admitted. Devon nodded. "No one's asking you to." "But they are." She folded her arms. Every conversation becomes another responsibility, another expectation. "So what are you going to do?" Lily looked back toward the skyline. "I'm pulling back." It wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was survival. For the first time in years, Lily intended to make decisions that served her own happiness rather than everyone else's demands. Meanwhile, another confrontation was quietly building. Matt stood outside exactly what would happen once he stepped inside. Victor Newman never appreciated challenges, especially from someone who refused to fear him. The front door opened before Matt even knocked. Victor stood waiting. "I expected you." "I'm sure you did." Victor motioned toward the study. Neither man wasted time with small talk. "You've been interfering where you don't belong," Victor said. Matt smiled. "I think that's your line." Victor's expression hardened. "I've built everything I have because I understand power." "And you believe power gives you the right to control everyone." Victor leaned forward. "It usually does." Matt didn't flinch. Not this time. The room became perfectly still. Victor had spent decades intimidating rivals. Most eventually folded. Matt didn't. "You think you're different." "I know I am." Victor stood. "You'll regret standing against me." Matt remained seated. That's what everyone says before they discover you can't bully someone who has nothing left to prove. Victor studied him carefully. Confidence, conviction, neither appeared manufactured. For perhaps the first time in weeks, Victor recognized something unusual. Matt wasn't negotiating. He wasn't bluffing. He truly intended to oppose him. Back at Crimson Lights, Abby found herself unexpectedly laughing. Daniel had somehow managed to convince her to forget her problems for nearly an hour. "I needed this." "You needed perspective." "I needed a friend." Daniel smiled. "You've got one." The words warmed Abby's heart. Not every connection had to become complicated. Sometimes support came from the people she least expected. As evening settled over Genoa City, Lily drove aimlessly through familiar streets. She passed places filled with memories, some joyful, some painful. For years, she had allowed her identity to become wrapped up in business victories, romantic disappointments, and family obligations. Tonight, she decided something different. She parked beside the lake. The calm water reflected the fading sunlight. She turned off her phone. No meetings, no emergencies, no expectations, just silence. It felt strangely liberating. Elsewhere, Victor sat alone in his office long after Matt had left. Nikki entered quietly. "You've been unusually quiet." Victor looked toward the window. "Some people mistake determination for strength." And Victor slowly smiled. "Occasionally, they're right." Nikki understood immediately. "Matt." Victor didn't answer. He didn't need to. For all his confidence, Victor knew a dangerous opponent when he met one. Across town, Daniel received a message from Abby thanking him for listening. He smiled before slipping the phone back into his pocket. Sometimes helping someone didn't require solving every problem. Sometimes simply being present made all the difference. Lily watched the stars begin to appear overhead. She wasn't running away. She wasn't giving up. She was choosing herself. For once. And somewhere beyond the city lights, Matt prepared for the next battle. Victor Newman had built an empire on influence and fear. But every empire eventually faced someone unwilling to bow. The coming days promised shifting alliances, unexpected friendships, and confrontations that would forever alter the balance of power in Genoa City. Abby had discovered hope where she least expected it. Lily had found strength in stepping back rather than charging ahead. Matt had proven that courage wasn't measured by wealth or status, but by the willingness to stand firm when everyone expected surrender. In Genoa City, every ending was merely the beginning of another chapter. Secrets never stayed buried for long. Loyalties changed with stunning speed, and even the strongest families could be shaken by a single unexpected choice. As the city settled into another restless night, one truth remained certain. Tomorrow would bring fresh revelations, new rivalries, and emotional twists that no one could predict. Abby's renewed confidence, Lily's determination to protect her peace, and Matt's fearless challenge to Victor were all pieces of a larger story still unfolding. One destined to leave lasting consequences for everyone caught in its path.